Alright. We've got BYUN in the bottom right side of the map here for Shopify Rebellion. It's the Korean StarCraft League, and it is the quarterfinals. Up in the top left, we've got Weibo's SHIN, a player we haven't seen as much from recently. He hasn't been signing up to any of the international online tournaments, just the Korean ones. So I've been hunting through and looking for more series of SHIN. And I think we've got a few series of his to cast today. Got a whole bunch of interesting games. He's been playing in KSL, but also RSL and a few other things. So someone was asking me like 3 days ago, they're like, where's SHIN been? And I was like, dude, I don't know. Like, I miss SHIN. I keep messaging him being like, please sign up to Pigstarcraft. Hope you can play. And he's never quite... Never just has been kind of AFK, hasn't really been responding. Normally he's pretty quick to respond to things, but looks like he's still playing the Korean tournaments, which is good to see, because I do think SHIN, as the People's Zerg, is the player we all want to kind of copy some of his builds and learn from him. Now, interestingly, he's playing 10,000 feet. This is a map every Zerg vetoes except me and SHIN, and I like to not veto it because I actually think there's some really good tricky builds you can do, and I just enjoy the weirdness of the map. This front base is actually quite hard for them to Hellion harass because you can just defend on this high ground, and they have to rotate around the left, which is also, you know, it's really hard to rotate between paths. That being said, I've always felt like, okay, it makes sense the pros veto this map because it is really hard to deal with top Terrans when they can siege tanks back here and shoot your mineral line. Obviously, you can defend that with Ravages, with Corrosive Bile, but he's going to take the left side expansion. Okay, I was wondering. So he's gone 15-15 for those who don't know. He's delayed his gas a lot, but he's going to mine these minerals, take a third over there, and just play a very efficient roach build. It does take a while, though. You got to mine 4 different patches to get rid of this. Command Center does go out. Reaper's on the way. Marine coming out next. Looks like a pretty typical opening for BYUN. We'll see if he goes for like a second gas or anything. This is his first scout. And how quick is it for him to realize what's going on, I wonder? Because this third hatch is relatively rare. And I wonder if he actually spots that those minerals have been mined, or if he doesn't even check that side, because maybe this is common. I have a feeling BYUN won't have played against many Zergs on this map, though, since it is such a common map to veto. Alright, Reaper's going to get pushed away. Third hatchery goes down on 2.5 minutes. You know, he could play Ling Speed from this if SHIN wants to. I'm so curious what he's going to do here. Reaper pulls back, and indeed, third command center for BYUN. So BYUN's playing pretty straight up. As I said, he hasn't really checked anything. He should know that it's a 15-15 because he's seen no Zerglings and a very early Queen. 2 signs that it was an earlier spawning pool, what you're usually seeing. And he's going to rotate through the main base and, of course, get out there, see that third. Good scout here for BYUN. It's the starport and the second gas goes down. 2 Marines at home in case there were a couple of Zerglings going across the map. Reaper's pulling back right now. Interesting. Okay, so the real thing is if you could see Ling Speed rather than Roach Horn, that's going to influence BYUN's strategy quite a bit. But it's so hard to scout that without throwing this Reaper away. I think that's the one thing he really needs to realize. SHIN is not going for the Roach build. He is going to go straight to Zerglings. It was Cyril back in Dallas 2024 that inspired this range of strategies. The 15-15 greedy third into Ling Speed rather than Roaches. Cyril was the master of doing efficient Roach builds, and I remember that was the first tournament we saw, hey, you can take a greedy third and then just go for a super late Ling Speed, and you could still be just fine. Don't need the Roaches to defend this. 3 more Queens are on the way, so it's going to be 6 Queens. Lots of drones coming out here. Okay, he's going to go... Notice how SHIN focuses the Hellions, because the Reaper can heal itself. The Hellions cannot. So he's like, okay, yeah, you can kill a creep tumor, but you're going to lose hit points on the unit that will not heal itself. Very nicely done. Plenty of Zerglings there. 3 Overlords coming in there. Bit of a supply block there for SHIN. That's not his best. Of course, he's not got a crazy amount of lava idling. That's always what you want to check when you see a supply block, guys. How much production's actually being lost. And we can see there was a delay on about 5 drones of about 10 seconds, which is, you know, it's not nothing, but it's not crazy. More Hellion Banshee coming out behind this. It's a cloakless Banshee build for BYUN. Realizing he's like, look, you're probably going to build spores. You're going to be pretty safe. I don't think I'm going to get much done. These Banshees are for poking around and for defending counterattacks. Lair starts up in the natural. No, the third base. And second gas is on the way as well. You could still play roaches after this. It's unlikely. I think we're just going to see Lingbane Hydra or Lingbane into Fast Hive. Double Evo goes up there. I'm not too keen on creating a wall like this. It means it's really hard for you to move around your base. General rule, guys, don't build buildings behind your mineral line because it blocks you defending Liberators and air units. And don't create too many choke points as a Zerg. So you don't want to create like long walls or anything because you're almost always playing the shorter ranged army. And as a result, wall-offs are always going to help someone with more long range units rather than short range. Very chilled out opening so far, isn't it? Very minimal losses. One Hellion. A couple of cancels on some buildings. And it is 1-1 range. Oh, is he going to play Mass Hydra? Oh, he's going to play the Mass Hydra build. So it's Ling Speed into the Mass Hydra Infester build. Ah, okay. Very cool build order. I do love this build order. Clem's been having a lot of trouble with it. It's usually weak to a 7-minute 22 tank push with 30 Marines with stim shields and 1-1. Can he actually do that, though? Or has he even got it in mind? Yeah, you can see that Hydra Den. No 6th gas just yet. Just 5 gases, which is interesting. Baneling Nest is really early. What the heck? You're meant to play Infestors when you play range upgrades, but Shin is doing a different build. He's going to play Hydraling Bane off 5 gas, but with range rather than melee. Interesting. Very interesting build order. Oh, great surround! BYUN was looking at the Banshees. His Hellions get surrounded. Oh, BYUN with a huge mistake there, losing all those Hellions. Now his third's wide open. He does have Marine Tank there, though. He should be okay. But that was a big mistake and an unnecessary one. That's going to give Shin control over the game for a moment. He's going to squeeze 7 more workers in, is Shin, onto that 4th mineral line. But yeah, this is such an odd style, guys. We don't normally see this. Normally you just squeeze 2 Infestors out to support your Hydras. One Banshee goes down. BYUN a little sloppy there. You should just run to the right side, get that back, so we can help defend with it. Second factory coming in. 4th CC could be up soon. Armory's done very early, and here we go. Okay, so it's going to be a 2 siege tank push with 31 Marines. There's 9 Hydras, 35 Zerglings. It's going to break this creep rocks over here, these naturally decaying rocks that were about to disappear anyway. He has been spotted coming forward. Banelings are morphing, but about 25 seconds until Bane speed's ready. Let me check that. Yeah, 25. Oh, the tank's getting deep. Hydras and Lings aren't quite ready to fight just yet. And this tank's really deep. He might take out a few of these Banes before they even finish morphing. He's going to go forward there. 2 Banes do go down. Queens would love to be on the front line taking care of the siege tank shots. Feels like Shin's going in with a bit of a half-cocked engagement right now. But does he have the numbers to clear it up? He will get rid of the front tank at least. Hydras do have 1-1 and grooved spines. Is that enough to defend the Marines? Well, the Lings will drag some of those tank shots away from the Hydras. More Zerglings are building. 82 workers. Shin's been too greedy, maybe. Has Shin been too greedy? Can BYUN push through? This is the sort of push that I was saying this Hydra builds can be weak to. He's playing a bit heavier on the Zerglings, is Shin, but he doesn't have melee. It's all about the Hydras, the Queens, and they're all going to go for it. The Hydras are kind of in the back, though. Two Queens up front, getting caught there. Oh, another Queen gets stuck by the Banelings. Shin bleeding out so many units. He was not ready for this push whatsoever. Oh, and he's just going to get overrun, I think. There's no way he can break this, is there? The Marines are getting pretty low on life, but there's more tanks and more Marines arriving here on the rally point. And those 2 tanks have put out so much hurt. 17, 18 kills on one, 7 on the other. Shin going way too greedy. He was quite conservative early on. He stopped at 65 workers, built a lot of army. But then he went, okay, cool, I think I'm safe. Let's build a whole bunch. I think maybe killing the Banshee and surrounding the Hellions, it made him feel a little bit more confident than he should have been. And Shin was just simply too greedy there. It's always a hard call because Hydra builds are very expensive when you want to play Mass Hydra. You want to get your worker count up really high early, but specifically these early tank pushes have always caused these heavy Hydra builds problems. If you know the Terran's going to commit to it, that's the trick. So I've been thinking about the theory of it, and I think you need to Overseer Scout somewhere around this time and just kind of confirm what's going on. If you don't see a 4th command center, I guess, on the way, that might be a tell, but in general, it's just, hey, do you have a lot of Marine tank, and is that actually going to commit to a push? If so, you probably want to stop at, I think, 75 workers. I also want to question the commitment to Ling Bane. I do think the pure Hydra Infest is a bit better. I'm a bit confused by the range upgrade. So normally with this build, right, you go straight to at least 70, 75 workers, 6 gases. You need that extra gas. Why? Because you're building Hydras and you want to squeeze out the 2 Infestors. But then you've got like a very ranged army. It works cohesively, right? You drop Fungals on the Marines whenever they're clumped, and otherwise you just set up an arc of Hydras and they fight. Problem we ran into with this engagement is a good section of the army was in Ling Bane, but Bane speed's not ready when the push comes number 1. Even if it is, you're fighting off creep. The lack of creep on this right side, huge problem. And this is the weakness with going for this third in the back, is this third base might be safe and protected early, but your creep is so delayed on this right side. Whereas if you take either the middle third or this is your third, your creep's already going to be spreading forward to protect a 4th and 5th base in these locations. Which is why I take this as like my 6th or 7th base on this map. So I think there's a combination of 2 things here. I think the Hydra Ling Bane style, it's a bit weird if you don't have an overwhelming number of Ling Bane. Normally if you play Hydra Ling Bane, it's basically 80% Ling Bane and a few Hydras added in just to have a few ranged units, especially good against Widow Mines. But he was playing this up to 9 + 5, 14 Hydras. 1 ranged upgrades. He was really committing to the Hydras to the point where he doesn't have enough Ling Bane to surround. And as a result, the Hydras want to fight a ranged battle. The Ling Bane kind of run in and don't really connect with anything. Ling Bane, you've got to have decisive crushing engagements. And if you look at this, I just don't think that ever happened. I'm trying to wrap my head around this because I don't know if this was like a mistake for Shin, getting confused and kind of getting caught between 2 styles. I don't think it is because he did build a ton of Hydras. I think it still could have worked if he just wasn't quite so greedy. I don't think Banelings are really ever going to help him here in a massive way against this push, though. Even if Bane speed's ready, unless he's already got a ton of Banes, I actually think pure Hydraling is probably the more efficient way to spend his money. Maybe a couple Banes trickled in is not the worst. But I feel like the Banes are too slow, even with Bane speed. They're going to kind of drag behind your army. So just having more Lings to at least absorb all the tank shots and maybe get a bit of friendly fire in the Marines is probably optimal. Anyways, great win for BYUN. Shin far too greedy in game 1. All right, guys. BYUN recognizing the situation well in that last game. Says, push for the tanks, push for the Marines. Do not give this boy room to macro up. And you know what's really odd? I think, as I've had a second to think about it while loading up the second game, I think the reason why he did this against Shin is if we think historically, BYUN does quite well against Shin, but it's normally because Shin is an ambush-based player who will basically try to shove with massive units in the mid-game, crush your attack. Like he'll often go, I know you like to do this push, I'll preempt it and I will kill you. That's a 15 pull, guys. It's a very early pull. 37 seconds? 36? Yeah, about 36 seconds. He's going to go for a Zergling pressure. This is a very cute opening for Shin. So yeah, but basically normally BYUN has to go full turtle against Shin to beat him and then beats him in late game, right? Which is really weird because that's not really BYUN's forte, but he knows Shin is so all in the mid game a lot of the time that he'll do that. Now, don't get me wrong, both players have a lot of mind games they go on, but I think essentially BYUN said, hey, I very rarely commit to these Marine tank pushes against you off a 3cc anymore. You're not going to see it coming. You're going to think, oh, it's BYUN. BYUN plays greedy against me and tries to beat me in the late game. I think that's what Shin's expecting. And that's why BYUN kind of metagamed there and went for the push. That's my theory. You guys let me know what you think. Now, this is interesting, guys. This is a 15 pull into like a 16 or 17 hatchery. And he's not even building Zerglings. Why has he done this? What's this? What's the point of this? Guys, what is this build? What? Is this because he was expecting proxy barracks and he wanted to be safer against it? So if he saw a proxy barracks, then he could have a queen already out and go roaches really early on one base or something? Is this a meta build? Is this good versus 2 racks? I don't think so. That's what I'm thinking as well, chat. Yeah. Because I'm like, well, your natural's not even up. You don't even, like, yes, you have a queen out earlier, but your Ling speed's not early. Like, I don't think this is good versus 2 racks Reaper. I feel like, unless it's proxied. If it's proxied outside your base, sure. But I feel like if someone goes 2 racks Reaper, I'd rather just go hatchery, go for a 15-15 or a hatchery first build. But who knows? I mean, it's not like it's a terrible macro build. The cool thing is, like, he kept droning. He gets his queen out early. The injects are so early that he's going to have a ton of lava available. So, I mean, I wonder if this technically gets you even more lava than a 15-15. Like, you just saturate your natural even faster. With a 15-15, you can have your natural fully saturated at about, what, 310, I think? 310, maybe 315, 16 workers. He's going to get up to 12 workers at, like, 250. That's actually pretty slick. And he's got a third hatchery started. This is actually, yeah, this is not a bad macro build. That's so cool. Dude, Shin is such a weirdo. He's like, yeah, I'm going to build a hatchery on 36 seconds because then my queen is friggin' super duper early. That's kind of sick. I know he's got a decently timed link speed as well. It's not like crazy fast, but it started like just before 3 minutes, right? Yeah, just before 3 minutes. Wow. Can this put you ahead as opposed to hatchery first? Potentially. I think similar to a 15-15 as well, like you don't have to do any extractor tricks. You don't have to build any zerglings for defense because you have your queens out so early. He's got 2 bases fully saturated and 8 zerglings on the way. Third's almost done. I don't mind it. I mean, you know, I thought in theory you're rushing a 15 pool. That should be an uneconomic opening, but no. He goes extractor trick, 15 pool, then overlord. And yeah, not a bad build order, man. Was it just the one extractor trick? Okay, maybe it was. Oh, actually, sorry. I think it was overlord then spawning pool, wasn't it? So it was 15 extractor trick, 15 overlord, and then 15 spawning pool. Wow, interesting build order. What a cool guy, man. Shin's so creative. Now we once again are seeing no cloak. Now you might be wondering, why is he going no cloak, guys? He just wants banshees for safety. And he feels like Shin never skips spores or overseers. He's always very safe. So he wants to get the spore crawlers. He wants Shin to build spores to make an overseer. He's faking a cloak upgrade there with interference matrix. He does cancel it as the overlord leaves. I'm not sure if Shin's going to look at that. Let's go to Shin's vision. Shin's too busy looking at the Hellions. Shin's way too busy looking at the Hellions. Lair has started. He's already got a spore there, but it's behind the natural, interestingly. He's building it on the edges, which tells us even though he's seen the Banshee, he's not expecting cloak. Oh, the metagame between these two players runs deep, man. And he's going to play a more standard quick Bane speed style this time. So Shin's going to go back to get a quick Bane speed. If you push me like the last game, I will roll over the top of you, bro. Now, obviously, if he had cloak, he could steer around that spore crawler and kill a bunch of drones. That's why this is a super metagame spore crawler. This is a haha. I know that's the angle you want to fly in from. That's sick. Hey, how do I reject gifted subs? I don't think you can, mate. If you were like, hey, I wanted to sub myself, you can pay it forward and gift a sub to someone else, I guess. But I guess you can't do that with an Amazon one. If you guys are watching over on the tubes, don't forget, if you got Amazon Prime, you get a Twitch subscription for free each month. Once you link those accounts, doesn't cost you anything extra, gives me $5. Go over to twitch.tv/x5_pig, hook us up with your subs. Appreciate you guys. Okay, he's gonna go range again. Okay, so Shin just has a new style. He's rushed Baneling Nest. I think that was just in case he got hit by a Hellbat timing, because he's not actually committed to the upgrade until after he's gone Hydra upgrades. Okay, so this is just Shin's new style, guys. It's a 5-gas Hydra Bane, but with Hydras as a focus rather than Zerglings. All right, we can see if we can make this work. Thankfully for BYUN's sake, he is building siege tanks. Armory's on the way as well. 5 barracks coming up. Very standard build order. Sometimes people have been getting annoyed at me over the last few years saying I don't talk about Terran build orders enough in TVZ. I just remind you guys, when the Terrans do anything that's not a 3cc build, and there's anything to talk about, I'll talk about it. There we go, 8 racks. That's something to talk about. There's literally only 2 deviations ever. It's with this sort of build. It's like, does he build cloak, yay or nay? And then it's, do you go 8 racks or not? And it's going to be an 8 racks push. I think no more SCVs will be built after these 2 that are about to come out. Shin's already on 82 workers. Exact same worker count as last time, guys. So Shin is literally like, he's like, my lesson from the last game is play better. He's like, my build order solid. I know my build order solid. I just messed up the fights. Like, I just didn't see the push coming, was a bit badly positioned, took some bad fights. This time, he's gonna respond the exact same way. 82 workers, mass Hydraling Bane. 1-1 upgrades will be finished in time. And the Zergling will see the push coming down that right side. And he's got way better creep in front of his 4th. Way better creep this time. But does he have enough army? He's got 9 Banelings. It's going to be 15 Banes, 11 Hydras. He should run forward to try to force the tanks to siege, but I think he's trying to hide and set up an ambush instead. He wants to roll over the top, but look, the Hellions didn't die, so they are guarding the siege tank. Really good move there for BYUN. Does that creep tumor up top die? Yes, it does. If few Marines are going to poke forward. Tries to get that creep shooter, not quite able. 12 Marines at a time are building more tanks. So this is a very forward commitment for a guy who's 8-raxing. So you can see he's pulled back off creep because he doesn't want to actually fight just yet. He wants to wait for that 8-rax production to kick in. He's also got 2-2 now started as well. +2 carapace actually is even earlier for SHIN. SHIN moves around with the Hydra Bane to intercept the reinforcement, but he's going to get sandwiched potentially. Hellbat's on the right. Massling Bane Hydra. Good sandwich comes in. Of course, here comes the reinforce for BYUN in the top left of that fight. Going to clear up all those Hydras. Not a bad engagement for BYUN. SHIN, though, did clear the front units. And he's going to get rid of that siege tank as well, which is massive, taking the artillery away from this push. That medevac drop almost gets sniped. SHIN chasing him back. And SHIN building more drones and an infestation pit. Remember, last game his infestation pit was finishing as the push was coming. This time he's delayed it until after he knew he had that fight on lock, and he immediately queued up 4 more drones, infestation pit, and then straight back to more Hydraling Bane. He's also adding melee upgrades after range, so he's not full Hydra committed. He does realize, look, I wanted just the +1 range for the Hydras early, because, you know, I think he basically figures +1 on the Banelings doesn't matter, and Zerglings very rarely get to stand and fight. They basically end up just getting shot down. So he's decided an early +1 on the Hydras is huge, but as the game goes on, you're going to have more messy fights. Like there will be chances for these Zerglings to really benefit from a melee upgrade. Marines going forward, very kind of cocky there from BYUN, but does bait a bunch of Ling Bane into some tank fire. Nicely done. Zerglings on that side do go down. 4th Command Center is building, but still no tech labs on these barracks for BYUN. So BYUN's just kind of clearing the creep. He's still committed to an 8-rax, but with so few siege tanks, and this is always the big thing with an 8-rax. You need, it's essentially a Marine all-in, right? All he's got is mass Marine and medevac. It's all he's building. And there's a couple of siege tanks that give you this range splash damage that allows that army to be good, because when the Marines are able to stim and run backwards while tank fire is covering them, they're so much more powerful. But oh my, that's more than a few Zerglings, isn't it? No depot raised. BYUN struggling to get it up today. Oh my lord. Okay, luckily for him, the Lings don't run into his base. I think SHIN doesn't want to get the units trapped, and that is a fair call for him. But it's all about having that ranged firepower. I don't understand why Letech Lurkers aren't good. They just only got 8 range, and they get outranged by siege tanks, and top pros are so good at dodging Lurker shots as well. So even when you see Hive Tech Lurkers kick in, if they've only got 2 or 3 of them, and that's with 10 range. 10 range versus 8 range is massive. The Lurker spines are so easy to like just pull in one direction and then just stim and take out individual ones. But tanks also can deal with them. Mass Hydraling Bane's gonna go up the ramp on the left. There's no tank sieged. He's deep on creep. He's way too deep on creep. BYUN trying to fight there. He's trying to hold his ground. The Marines, oh my gosh. He picks up at the last second, but already a lot of Marines went down. A Ragnarok of Banelings overwhelming him. This is classic SHIN at his best. Remember, SHIN's name used to be Ragnarok, but he's left a hatchery on the right side open. Only got 2 SCVs with his own counterattack. And that's a brilliant drop there for BYUN, but he's left picking up way too late and almost loses one of those medevacs. He's going to go unload in the main to try and cause a nuisance. His own 4th Command Center is coming up, +3 weapons as well. He's still on 64 workers. Yeah, he's found a lot of value with the hatchery snipe, the overlords. Unfortunately, BYUN's main army, you could tell, has just been F2'd forward there, so he's just F2'd at home. Infestation pit doesn't quite go down. He does get the +2 melee denied, though, which is a very high value snipe. Not as good as getting, say, a +2 carapace denied, but not bad. 3 Vipers being built as his anti-air. He wants to parasitic bomb these bad boys. And you can see SHIN has a drop squad of Hydra Bane and his own main army of Massling Bane Hydra, but he's let the tanks take the position. It's a very good position behind those rocks. 4th Command Center is up. It's an orbital. BYUN is playing high-risk StarCraft right now. He is naked against counterattacks. BYUN is basically saying, if I ever have to swap to a defensive stance, I'm probably dead at that point. He's saying, I have to keep the momentum and the aggression up. I need to keep SHIN stuck defending, but SHIN's going to go around, coming in from 3 sides. The columns of Banelings. Oh, no. They just got washed up. They just got washed up. Oh, no. SHIN, he came in 3 columns. All of them came around corners. Terrible positioning for SHIN. He does need to break this position right now. Blinding Clouds. Okay, finally those Blinding Clouds do land. That should save the day, but he's lost his hatchery on the right side yet again. Hydras are going to take out all the medevacs. BYUN move commanded all of his medevacs into the Hydras. If he just ran his Marines away, I think he was okay there. He just threw like 7 medevacs away. He was at a good point. He'd done so much damage, and he flies in, loses a medevac to the Spore, but he is doing more damage in the main base. He's going to get rid of the Queen. Should focus the Infestation Pit as well, I think, just because why not? It is in red hit points. Hydraling Bane's going to try to come forwards. BYUN engaging in absolutely unmitigated aggression right now, but is it actually worth it? Is it paying off? I really think those medevacs going in, like SHIN took a terrible fight, but then the medevac throw from BYUN has put it back into a position where SHIN is up in supply, including army supply. There's a lot of Vipers. And Parasitic Bomb, Blinding Cloud combo, so good. Parasitic Bomb on the medevacs, Blinding Cloud on the siege tanks. There's another tank up there. He did Blinding Cloud on the Marines this time. Baneling's right on top. Not quite able to connect with the big ball of Marines, though. BYUN doesn't have high ground vision. What's he doing? BYUN runs towards the Banelings that were on top of the cliff when he had no high ground vision. BYUN is actually a psychopath. I'm telling you, man, if I ever need a man to fend off an alien invasion with a meat cleaver out of his kitchen, I'm sending BYUN in his underpants out front of the house to go fight off the friggin' aliens. Because I know he's going to do it with no fear. BYUN's the guy you want on your XCOM team, man. He's the rookie on the squad that you bring. You know when an XCOM mission's going bad and you're like, oh, this is why we bring a rookie on each mission to distract the enemy's fire. You just send him sprinting through the open while the rest of your team evacs. You're like, guys, chase the rookie. You're like, BYUN, run in that direction. We need you now, man. And he's like, okay, guys, I got this. Runs out, taking off his shoe and throwing it at the alien's face. Yeah, a bit maniacal, but I mean, that's the sort of stuff that gets BYUN wins against a lot of Zergs who are very, very good under pressure, but BYUN just ups the pressure to the point where he breaks them. We've seen him make that comeback against Solar so many times, where you think Solar's got him dead, and BYUN's like, I'm going to drop 400 Marines in your main, I'm going to drop 2 medevacs in your fourth, medevac in your natural, 4 medevacs in your main, and suddenly there's just so much chaos, and he starts to find value. But right now, BYUN is far behind in this game. SHIN stabilized on 78 workers. Not a crazy count, but look at his upgrades, guys. 1-2-2. He's got 3-3 on the way. His Ling Bane, like his Ling damage does kind of suck compared to the 3-3 of Terran, but the Hydras, you can see he's got a good count of Hydras, 19. So he really plays his Hydra Ling Bane, where it is actually Hydra Ling Bane, right? They take the upgrade priority. Usually the classic way of playing Hydra bit Ling Bane is you play Ling Bane and you add some Hydras. And I've usually said like the absolute maximum is 20 Hydras, usually with that style. He's actually still only playing 19 himself, but often only as few as 10 Hydras. It is what you'd normally do because they're just a supporting unit. But yeah, he's got amazing upgrades on them. Parasitic Bomb would be really good on these medevacs. He's not going to go for it, interesting. I guess he's just saving for Blinding Clouds because he wants to just keep going. SHIN just keeps on going. Nope, he's turning around for a moment. That command center on the left will go down. Yep, looks like it should go down. Indeed, it does burn down. This new command center is almost finished, but 16 workers as well. Once again, SHIN's right side is undefended, though. I feel like SHIN's boxing coach out there is like, put your hands up! Your right hand keeps dipping, man. Put your right hand up! Like, it's, He's basically SHIN's coach is Clint Eastwood in $1 Million Baby right now, right? He's literally got to tie SHIN's right hand to his friggin' face so that he learns to keep that bloody hand up, because he just keeps on getting clipped on the right side. Despite that, he's still winning. He's still in a good spot, but he's lost 2 bases there. He's lost how many overlords this game? 16! 1,600 minerals. Biotank moving down the left. He can't overcommit to the right side. He's got to stop this army. If SHIN loses these 2 bases, he's actually dead. Because BYUN's got mules dropping. He's got new command centers going out to 5 bases. He's still got 54 SCVs. He's still got an abundance of Marines, some Widow Mines and some Marauders. The Marauders especially be really good at soaking Banes. Chat's going, oh my gosh, 98 Banelings. Remember, guys, this only shows Banelings that were shot down by Terran. Banelings that detonated themselves on enemy units don't show up here. It's probably closer to 150, maybe even more Banelings that have actually gone down in this game. SHIN loves masses of Banelings. Nice Widow Mine shot. Gets 8 Zerglings there. 200 minerals of value. Bunch of Overseers are morphing. Lurkers are now coming in with Seismic Spines almost here. Back to the Lurker question earlier. Lairtech Lurkers are actually amazing at holding 8 racks. Even at my level there, most Terrans aren't that good at dealing with it. It's only when you're dealing with the top pros where it's tough. Hydraling Bane coming forward. Vipers. Nice Blinding Clouds. You can see the Bio tries to run forward. The Overseers, Dragons, and Widow Mines. Parasitic Bombs as well. You sure you want to pick up into those medevacs when the bees are on top of them? Oh, but the Banelings have kind of thinned out. And the right side, he's barely going to lose the right side fight. He still hasn't rebuilt these hatcheries. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, BYUN's going to bring this back. I can't believe this. Oh wait, there's more Banes. Careful, careful, careful. He's got to be careful of the Banes. He attacked the rocks. BYUN accidentally A-clicked on the rocks when he was starter stepping. Luckily, doesn't take a massive hit to the face. He wants to get those Vipers so badly, but he's out of medevacs. It's actually the medevacs that stop BYUN's advance. It's the lack of medevacs. He's lost 19 medevacs this game. He's got to take time to heal. So he's going to split this drop to the side, try to get in and snipe these hatcheries again. The Hydraling Bane Viper's hunting. BYUN, though, is right there. Oh, he's going to go offensive. Shin says, screw defending, that's for losers and tryhards. I've been letting BYUN mine without a single planetary on this map for far too long, and it is time we are done with that. Abducts are absolutely the right play there. Pull them into the Hydras. Now there's no escape for those Marines. Unfortunately, the Vipers, one of them runs in and dies. Lurker finishes morphing. Oh, both Lurkers go down there. Dude, BYUN making this game as messy as he can. Oh, dude, it's a good old stab fest this is. A good old prison shanky shank. Sharpened down, filed down toothbrushes galore. And who the hell is going to be able to protect their kidneys best and their liver? As long as you don't take a stab to a vital organ. Those things don't stab too deep, those shivs. Infection could be an issue if you can't find good medical treatment, but right now both guys are taking massive damage. 16 Hydras, 4 Lurkers, 2 Vipers, a few more Zerglings coming in. This is a real scrappy game. I'm worried here for Shin, because if he gets this army surrounded, BYUN might wreck him. BYUN's going in a bit early, though. The rest of the bio's not here. He goes in early. These guys weren't there. He closes in before the rest of his army is there. A bit of a sloppy engage for BYUN. Then again, is it that sloppy? He only lost 4 SCVs, even though he pulled the workers in. Kills a ton of overseers, a ton of overlords. Income right now. He's got 33 workers. He's got mules dropping. He's still got full energy. He's got a bunch of full energy orbitals. Dude, if he drops mules, BYUN can make like 1,000 Marines right now. If BYUN lands these commands, he can drop... I mean, I know he's got to save scans for Lurkers, but Shin's broke. And I think Shin needs to try to, like, when the game gets messy, if he can run a Lurker or a few Lings in here, a Lurker or a few Lings in here, like, Shin right now needs to go back to Scrappy Zerg, which means always be sending 6 Zerglings in each mineral line. None of these are defended. Click 6 Zerglings in the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and then he could be okay. He's got his own new expansion up. He's on 50 workers, which means long-term he is fine against a 4 orbital player. He's not behind if he could get a fresh hatchery, but he doesn't have a fresh hatchery other than this right side one, because this base went down. I forgot this base was gone. Shin needs a new hatchery, man. Look, the mules have dropped on the right side base. BYUN's actually making a really scary army. Dude, this is a fantastic game too. This is what I'm talking about. There are a few Zerglings get in. I think the tank might have been killed in this game. No, the tank's moved forward somewhere. Where is that tank? It's moved over to the right side. Oh, Blinding Cloud comes in. Abduct comes in. Medevac tank goes down. Ling's getting a pretty decent surround. They are +2 melee with Adrenal now, which means they do okay against the 3-3. Only down the 1 upgrade. Nowhere near as bad. Shin's going to lose one of his important bases that has still 5-6 mineral patches on it. But he's going to take out a command center of BYUN. He might get the rest. If he can take out both of these sets of workers as well, which he can... Okay, both sides are losing their economy, but Shin's still got the right side. This is a good trade for him if he can come back and defend now. Like, you've killed 30 SCVs. If he comes home and cleans up the army, he's good. He's going to try and kill this command center. BYUN hesitates and goes home. Is that the wrong call? There's only a bunch of Ling Bane. He might have been able to push forward, but diving on creep with this little army's obviously very frightening. BYUN's down to 3 SCVs. He's got to make it happen now, man. The Marine Marauder's going to stand and fight against the Ling Bane Hydra. Oh, the other bio comes in. It's heavily damaged from the other side, though. And, dude, that Blinding Cloud was absolutely brilliant. Wow. I thought Shin was going to go down 0-2 for a few seconds there. That was scary. Oh, man. Every time Shin won a fight, he'd lose these hatcheries on the right side, and it was like you'd see him knocking BYUN, and BYUN would just spit flying out of his mouth, but then you'd realize BYUN's also somehow landed... You know, normally this is an uppercut. What do you call it if you punch them in the crotch? Is that a lower cut? Basically, BYUN kept hitting Shin with a lower cut. I don't think that's what it's called, but I'm gonna call it a lower cut. He basically kept hitting him right in the crotch on these 2 bases on the right side and kept that really close. But Shin does tie up the series 1-1. All right, guys, game 3 after a banger game 2. And what's interesting is we're going on Enclave, a map which I also don't see too much of because I think Zergs tend to veto this map because Terran gets a free base in the back. Really cutesy map. I've been loving Eric's fast tech build in general, but especially on this map. No way. Oh, proxy hatch. That's odd. Surely, was he thinking NSCV might be able to come through? Maybe there's a certain timing where someone builds 2 barracks in your back door at that timing. Or maybe he just sent it down too early. He's actually going hatch first on the garbage base. Why? This has only got 5 minerals. Shin, what sorcery are you up to here? The other base is really nice. It's a full base. And you could take this one as a third in the back. I almost always just expand along the top and just ignore this back base because it's so weak. Oh, Mokaba just became a YouTube member. Oh, damn, that's like a YouTube subscription. Like, that's like what we call a sub on Twitch. Thank you. Why, thank you. Welcome. All right, gas pool. Pool's going to go down 114, 115. That's not very early. Hatchery was well-timed, though. What do you guys think Shin's up to here, guys? Is it going to be like a... I literally just defend my main ramp and like go lair before link speed? He's not pulling off minerals onto gas. I just don't know why you'd take this base first. He's definitely aware of the mineral patches, guys. Shin is actually like, you know how there's guys like Dark and Hero where you watch them play and you're like, did they read the patch notes? Have they even looked at the map or thought about what they're doing? Like, you can tell they're making it up as they go and winning because they're just like blessed with the most insane talent of any StarCraft player you've ever seen. Shin is the opposite of that, guys. You know how sometimes there's athletes who you actually sense they have to work really frigging hard just to be competitive with the actual gods of the game, whether it be football or StarCraft or whatever else. Shin is that guy. Shin is the people's Zerg. He's very good, don't get me wrong. He is a professional, but he's actually a professional who has to work to be at this level and work hard and think about it. He's one of the best strategy gamers. His builds are some of the most creative. He's very clever. Now, that was a third hatchery, guys, but he delayed his second queen to get the quick third hatchery. I'm very curious what's going to be going on here. So the Lings can defend the Reaper. Reaper can't run in there, guys, by the way. He has to either jump up this little ledge, and then he can jump up there. Yeah, there we go. That's what he's going to do. 3 CCs at home, guys, into a second barracks. So it could just be 3 CC 2-on-1. Could be a third barracks as well from that. I mean, it looks like he's just going to do it. As long as he can transfer to his third quick enough, I guess this is fine. I don't know why you take this one first, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Maybe he figures it's just a bit easier to defend the early workers with one queen up here because they have to come through the main to get to that base. Whereas otherwise, if you build the queen on the natural but they slip into the main, you don't have another queen there. So he just figures this is easier to defend the early drones, and now he rallies to the third and moves his queens and things down anyway. Yeah, it doesn't make a big difference. I guess this is not actually a big deal. Once again, and this is what's so good, is like Shin will just do things out of the box where he's done a bit more thinking, testing things out, experimenting, and figuring out what he finds works best for him. By the way, guys, this map is filled with dildos, in case you guys didn't know. This is the dildo. There's like little volcanic dildo forests. So basically, these are a little organism that I think grows in volcanic ground. They thrive on heat and moisture, apparently, are the two things that these guys... Oh, doodles is what I call them normally. Sorry, did I say dildos? I meant doodles. Sorry, guys, these are doodle forests. That's just straight up... well, GG PG-13 on this one. Doodles, guys, doodles. Sorry. Kind of means the same thing, but not as explicit. Anyways. Do you guys remember Captain... I don't know why this is making me think. Do you guys remember Mr. Squiggle? These are making me think of Mr. Squiggle. I don't know why. You know, the guy with like the pencil nose or whatever, and he like draws things. I don't know if they had that wherever you guys are in the world. That was a great show. Mr. Squiggle, the man from the moon. I think that was the song, right? That was like the intro. He's like from the moon, and that's why he has like a pencil nose that he uses to draw things. Man, kids' shows are weird. I swear they just like take some mushrooms before they come up with the concepts for children's shows. I mean, anyone who's watched Gumby has known that forever, I guess. Single Evo, no Ling speed. Is he going to go Carapace and then Roach? Oh, no, he does have Ling speed already. Okay, never mind. He's got Ling speed. So he's going to go for an early Carapace, 4 gases, no 4th hatchery just yet, which means he's kind of stuck on this work account. I do like the Spore in the back door. A little bit of limited map vision, I would say here for Shin, which is why, yeah, it's really important he sees if those Marines move out. Okay, so there we go. Lair, Baneling Nest, Carapace He's a bit slow on gas, but don't worry, he'll catch up in a moment, and that 4th hatchery desperately needs to go down. Pencils are from Earth, stupid. No, they aren't. No, they invented them in space, yeah. The first Russian astronauts found them, and then they pretended they were smarter than Americans, because America's, you know, spent millions and millions of dollars developing their 0G or microgravity pen. And then the Russians like, we're so smart, we just used a pencil, look, but they actually found it on the moon when they were there. They were definitely there, right? That's a thing. All right, I'll stop talking nonsense. 4th hatchery's coming in, Bane speed as well, armory's coming. Oh, no. Okay, I mean, it's not a bad scout. Doesn't see everything, but decent scouting. Now, the question now is for BYUN, if you don't build a 4th command center, remember, this is only 5 minerals for him as well. You need to build an early 4th to maintain your economic growth. Shin's going to be able to do that as a Zerg. 4th hatchery is just an extra production facility, right? But right now, if you build 8 barracks, for instance, you are so all in on this map. Oh my god, look at this counterattack. He waits for him to move out, and then he's just like, lol, by the way, I have banelings, let's go, son. Oh no, BYUN broke his own rocks here. Oh no, not a good move. He literally tore the door down. He's going to try and focus some Banes. Oh my lord. Oh god, the SCVs on the natural are so exposed. There's 2 Banes there. If those Banes go for those SCVs. Oh, the Marines target them. Huge move for BYUN. Is it enough to save the day though? Dude, that was a sick save by BYUN. The supply is still terrible for him though, because Shin's up to 80 workers behind. And what's he got? Nothing but Marines and medevacs. His first 2 Widow Mines are out. He needs to pump Widow Mines and get a 4th command center right now if he wants to play a longer game, or pump Widow Mines and just go. But his 4th is late. He's moving out with an SCV. He's going to build a depot for now. He's supply blocked. Shin could start running away with this game. He's got a 5th base going up in the top left, a few more gases. Hydra upgrades are coming in. Crew spines first, a much more defensive one. Marines going forward. Oh, into Spore Crawler Queen though, that's dangerous. Yeah, super dangerous. If he committed, he was going to lose a bunch of medevacs and be a one-way trip. Oh. BYUN's still down 22 workers, guys. He's not started a 4th command center. Vehicle plating is a terrible choice right now. Vehicle plating is a very low-tier upgrade. And like, it's like not going to kick in forever. So it's like, dude, are we committing to an all-in? Because if so, we should be going harder aggressive. Otherwise, we should be building a 4th command center. Great fight for BYUN though! No way! Dude, Shin! Oh my god, he's gone to 90 workers! Shin just threw this game. I can't believe Shin just threw this game. He's trying to make Banelings, but BYUN gets in there. He went for a bad fight. The Queens are finally coming down. Can the Queen save the day? The Baneling Cocoons are right there, but they're going to finish. Okay, the Baneling Cocoons are going to finish. Dude, Shin is so far ahead. He's being so greedy right now. So greedy. Unnecessarily. You do not need 90 drones in this game. Shin must have lost track of his workers. Look how oversaturated he is, mate. He's got to transfer workers from here over to that top left base. And he's just got to survive this attack. If he survives this attack, he's fine. 4th command center, incredibly late for BYUN. And yet his supply is so close. He's got a triple drop moving left. Creep's going to spot it. Creep spots it. Creep spots it, but only for a second. I think he sees it, though. I think he realizes, does Shin. Shin's whole army's on one control group. I love the Ling counter. He sees how slow this 4th is. That's got to make you feel really confident as Shin. Every second that goes by, you know... Every second that goes by, you know that you're mining way more than your opponent. Widow Mine will go boom, boom. Get 5 Zerglings, though. Not bad, not bad. And I'd love to see BYUN's army pivot to the right side, clear this creep, and then, you know, try to go in here. Because that should pull the army out of position and allow these guys to go in. But he goes in with these guys first, which means they're just going to have to pick up and leave. He commanded into the Banelings. BYUN, lucky to only lose about 7 or 8 Marines there. That could have been much worse. He's going to dive the right side now. He's trying to look for success in the midst of the chaos. Oh, there's a Baneling in there. There's a few Banelings. Oh my god, a bunch of Marines get hit by the Banelings and the Widow Mine splash. Does clear a lot of Ling Bane, but a good fight for Shin. That was crazy, man. Dude, this game's getting really, really sloppy. You can tell BYUN knows he needs to lean into the scrappiness. He needs to make the game scrappy to try and get more mistakes out of Shin, but I think he's got to clear this creep. This creep spreading behind his army. It's actually really good for Shin. He's got to clear this creep, push the right side, and then maybe he can slide something in the left. Massive Banelings on the left. Bit of a bad army split for Shin, guys. He's got like 25 Banes on the left with no supporting units, and on the right, he's almost pure Ling Hydra, where he needs some more Baneling support. Don't get me wrong, he could roll the Banes into a planetary or something, but 5th base now building on location. BYUN is playing a scrappy, kind of just you know, off the cuff style right now, just trying to figure things out as he goes and make the most of it. He's thinking of going for a quad drop. I mean, you can drop in there, and I think this is the exposed ledge, because everyone's so paranoid about that backside. Shin doesn't see it. The creep did get cleared. If he flies into these hydras, it's terrible. He's going to go left. And he pulls away. Not good pull away for BYUN. Shin's going. Dude, he's got 44 Banelings. Oh my gosh. Banelings on the left, Banelings on the right. Oh, BYUN stutter steps into the Banelings. He doesn't see the flank. Massive Marine hits. The SCVs do escape to safety. One of the nice perks of that worker-only path. But there is endless Banelings coming in. These Marines, they need to unload on the right side of the wall. He's going to unload on the right side of his own natural wall. Hilariously, the Banelings blow it up to let him get the Terran units are on the outside of his own wall off. The Baneling Hydra should pull back now for Shin, because he's out of supporting units. Oh, but he sees the bio a bit clumped. Does take a little trade there. And on 83 workers, that's a trade he can take all day, every day. Shin has got this one in the bag. What a crazy get, man. The fact that Shin took that nasty fight going to 90 workers was so unnecessary earlier. Oh, actually, oh my gosh. It's a lot of units that went down. He's got nothing but Lings right now and 4 Hydras. That Widowmine just killed, oh, they got only 2 Zerglings, nothing too big. He needs to make a lot of Banes and a lot of Hydras right now. He lost so many. He's lost 13 Hydras this game. Many of which just went down. I love the Ling counter though. Shin knows he's just got to buy time. And Ling counters are gonna be insanely high value. Banelings, Queens, Hydras trying to hold on here. He's gonna have to try that. He's thinking about going forward. Banelings, but the Marines are off creep. He doesn't want to go in and throw his army away. He wants BYUN to come deeper. Deeper. Oh, that medevac goes down. BYUN dropping so close to the main push is crazy. The Marine Marauder's going to stutter step to the left side. BYUN making the most of an awful situation. He's way up in army. Oh, he's up a little bit in army supply, I should say. But the Banelings are on top. Oh, those 2 Banelings snuck underneath. And a whole bunch of Marine Marauder goes down. And remember, the mining right now is abysmal. Absolutely awful mining for BYUN. And I think Shin on 77 workers with his top left base is going to get away with it. Shin with some really cool openings today, guys. We've had the macro 15 Overlord into 15 spawning pool with not a single Zergling built. We've had 15 15s. We've had really fast hatchery here into 3rd hatchery there really early, where he skips the queen on the natural and just defends with 1 queen. I mean, he's just had some clever build orders. Oh, and as you can see, lurkers, they're very slow to burrow. If they ever get caught out of position or anything, you know, they are a bit exposed on their own. Lurkers kind of hit or miss unit, right? A little bit like a siege tank. Really good in the right position, like right there. Now they do get some nice waves off. Marauders and Widowmines trying to pull back. Drop rotates around the backside. Lings surrounding a few of these Marauders. Only 2-2 against 3-3. No range upgrades either, remember, for the Hydras. So Hydras will struggle against the 3-3 bio. It's just that the income, the reinforce, is not so good. I mean, BYUN's dropping a ton of mules right now. One which he unfortunately misclicked. It's not mining, it's just standing next to the minerals. It's so sad, man. This guy's just watching. That was the Overseer mule. Forgotten Department mule. Oh, Spore Crawler just killed 2 medevacs. Make it 3. 3 medevac kills for that Spore Crawler. They call it the Giga Chad Spore for a reason, guys. Named after that particular Spore Crawler, I believe. Queen Hydra, Ling Bane, or Ling Lurker, I should say. Oh my god, he tried to spread against the Widowmine and ended up maximizing its damage instead. Shin going for one of the ugliest engagements here, but it doesn't matter when you're this far ahead. He's got the numbers. And a flood does not care about which path it takes. It drowns everything in its way, you know. When you got a tsunami coming your way, it doesn't go, oh, that's a mountain, I'm going to steer around that. No, it just washes over the top. At least when it's a big enough tsunami. Don't know if there's ever been a tsunami big enough to go over a mountain, unless we're talking about the endless dark hole tsunamis on that planet in Interstellar, right? That's kind of where Shin's at. Shin's at least halfway to one of those constant skyscraper-sized tidal waves. Bio coming through the guts. Down 20 army supply, 40 worker supply. BYUN has a lot of catching up to do. Lurkers do now have 10 range, which means they fire from much further. BYUN has a lot of gas in the bank, chat's pointing out. Not much you can do about that. He only has so many mineral patches he can mine from. It's very natural. So like, oh, what's he doing? What an idiot. But as long as he's floated a base out now, but he didn't have any minerals to mine from, so it just naturally happens. You know, I've had a few people on my stream criticize me. They're like, you had 3,000 gas in this game. Why are you so bad at balancing your economy? And I'm like, did you guys watch the part where I lost 7 bases that game? And they kept killing my mineral mining bases and guys that were mining minerals. They're like, why didn't you transfer off gas to minerals? I'm like, because all my bases were dead. It's nice when you're Protoss, because at least you can make Archons with that gas bank. But Terran and Zerg don't have a nice gas-only unit. Oh, good flanking drop here. This is a pretty slick engagement for BYUN. Comes from 2 sides. Unfortunately, the scan runs out. He doesn't quite kill the lurkers. And of course, there is a horde on the right side. That was only a little forward force there. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Shin's got it. Crazy game, man. This was such a fun move. I just the through the rocks backdoor maneuver. I can't get over this, man. This is gonna feel so bad, like looking back at it in the replay, right? BYUN's like, I'm gonna clear the rocks so I can start pushing and taking a 4th on my push path. Haha. And Shin's like, dude, I made like 60 Zerglings off 54 drones. Now, I don't think Shin necessarily planned this ahead of time. I think if you look at Shin's scouting, guys, he saw a lot of Marines building up whenever he poked with Zerglings, and he wasn't quite sure what was happening. He thought there might be like a big 3cc, 3 Marine, 3RX Marine push coming. So he's made a massive Zerglings, which means his economy is not very competitive. Now, sometimes you end up in games like this where you've overbuilt army and you go, oh no, now I'm about down in workers. A clever player says, how can I use that army? And Shin goes, okay, well, he's just chilling, comes over, sees the rocks are breaking. He's like, I don't even need to bust you. And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to wait for you to break the rocks and see if I can run in and overwhelm you with this surprising army. And he didn't even see the medevac sleeve. He didn't even see the medevac sleeve. He just basically happens to get this just right, drops her on the right side of the map. And also you've got 1-1, not quite finished. Shield's about 30-40 seconds from finishing. And that's just a complete disaster for BYUN from here. I mean, what can you do? I think maybe he should have stutter stepped the Marines further back here, guys. What do you think? And just let the depot stay down? Because there was only 5 Banelings. So it might have been more efficient if the drop continued across the map and went in and dropped here. Problem is there's a Spore and a Queen. And he's not going to have a lot of APM to micro it, right? But I think like ideal play is the medevacs dive in. Your Marines run behind, you pull some SCVs, and you just keep stutter stepping back, trying to focus the Banes and using the SCVs to try to buffer against the Zerglings. Really hard to pull off in actuality. But as you can see, this was already such a good start, because not only was Shin doing lots of damage, he was pulling the drop home, and at home he had nothing but 8 Queens and drones. Like literally 0 units, just Queens. So even that double drop, if it continued and he was able to defend, it actually would have been better for BYUN if he lost another 10-15 workers, but his double drop went in and killed a base and a bunch of workers or something like that himself. Like even if he hit the front or the right side, either way would have been good for BYUN. But having to pull his army home while Shin was doing nothing but droning, up to above 80 workers, I mean, that's a disaster. Really well played by Shin. Clever build orders, cool build orders, and really sick almost comebacks as well in some of these games for BYUN. GG, well played.